In 2007, this manager won the league. 11 days later, Real Madrid fired him anyway, not for losing, for winning the wrong way. If you think a trophy guarantees your job in football, this is the clearest proof it never has. This is the story of the fastest sacking of a champion in football, and why winning was never really the point. To understand why this happened, you have to understand the club he walked into. Real Madrid, 2006. No league title in 3 years. A squad full of superstars. Beckham, Ronaldo, Raul, but no real direction. Fabio Capello was brought in to fix it. And this wasn't even his first time doing this exact job. 10 years earlier, in 1997, Capello had already managed Real Madrid once and won the league in his only season. He was sacked anyway, over disagreements with the club's chairman. Now, a decade later, they brought him back to do it again. Capello's second spell at Real Madrid didn't start with football. It started with 2 decisions that had nothing to do with tactics. First, David Beckham, the club's biggest global star, the face of the Galacticos era, and Capello benched him. Not for poor form, because Beckham had just announced he was leaving for the United States, and Capello didn't want a player already halfway out the door. The decision split the fan base instantly. Beckham was still the most recognizable player in the sport. Benching him felt, to many, like Real Madrid turning its back on its own identity. Then came Ronaldo, not Cristiano, the original, one of the greatest strikers alive, a 2-time World Cup winner, still on Real Madrid's books. But by 2007, his weight and discipline had become a growing problem inside the club. Capello later admitted it himself. Ronaldo had ballooned to over 94 kilograms. Told to lose weight, he barely did. By January, Capello had pushed him out entirely, sold to AC Milan mid-season, while the team was still fighting for the title. 2 of the club's biggest stars, gone or sidelined. In the same season, Real Madrid needed to win. So Capello rebuilt around what was left. Ruud van Nistelrooy became the focal point, scoring the goals that kept Madrid in the title race. But the football itself was unrecognizable for a club like this. Cautious, disciplined, built to grind out results rather than entertain. It worked, right up to the final day. Real Madrid needed a win against Mallorca to be sure of the title. They got it, 3-1, and finished the season a single point ahead of Barcelona. But while Madrid were winning domestically, they'd already been eliminated from the Champions League in the last 16. The competition the club has won, more than any other in the world. A league title, 2 sidelined superstars, a European exit, and a style of football that didn't feel like Real Madrid at all. On paper, Capello had done his job. Underneath it, almost everything about how he'd done it was already working against him. To the board, the Champions League exit mattered as much as the league title, maybe more. Because Real Madrid doesn't just want to win, it wants to win a certain way. Attacking, spectacular, built around its biggest stars. Capello had delivered a trophy using none of that. Defensive football, a sidelined Beckham, a forced-out Ronaldo. By the final weeks of the season, Spanish press were already reporting that his job was in danger, before he'd even won anything. The title wasn't going to save him. It was just going to delay the decision. June 17, 2007. Real Madrid are champions of Spain. 11 days later, the club's sporting director announced Capello was finished. Without giving a detailed reason, only saying he wasn't the most suitable person for what the club wanted next. The press understood exactly what that meant. Even if the club wouldn't say it outright, a title wasn't enough. Not without the style, and not without saving face in Europe. His replacement was a surprise. Bernd Schuster, a manager with no experience at this level, hired specifically because the board wanted a different identity, not just different results. Bernd Schuster took over, a manager with no experience at this level, hired specifically because the board wanted a different identity, not just different results. He delivered. His first season, Real Madrid won the league again, this time by 18 points. Dominant, exactly the kind of football the board said they wanted. It didn't matter. Less than halfway through his second season, after a run of poor form, Schuster was sacked too. His replacement, Juan de Ramos, lasted 6 months. No trophies. Gone by the end of the season anyway. Then came Manuel Pellegrini, a season where Real Madrid won 96 points, more than almost any team in the league's history up to that point. He was sacked as well. 0 trophies to show for one of the best points totals ever recorded, and it still wasn't enough to save his job. 4 managers, 4 years, 2 league titles between them, and not one of those men left Real Madrid on their own terms. Capello's sacking wasn't a strange overreaction the club would come to regret. It was the opening move in a pattern they'd repeat almost identically, again and again. For Capello, here's the part most people don't know. This wasn't the first time Real Madrid had done this to Capello. 10 years earlier, in 1997, Capello managed Real Madrid for the first time and won the league in his only season in charge. He was sacked anyway. Not for results, for a falling out with the club's chairman. A decade later, Real Madrid brought him back to do the exact same job, and when he did it, winning the league again, they let him go again. Same result, same club, same ending. 2 league titles, 2 dismissals, 1 manager, and 1 club that never once let a trophy change its mind. By the time Capello left for the second time, he wasn't shocked, he wasn't even surprised. He'd already learned, 10 years earlier, exactly what winning was worth here. This wasn't even a new experience. It was the second time the exact same club had won a trophy under him and let him go anyway. He didn't struggle for work. Within a year, he was appointed manager of the England national team, a job he held for 4 years. But the Real Madrid sacking followed him. Years later, when his name came up again as a possible return to the club, he laughed the idea off outright. A joke, he called it, and nothing more. Fabio Capello won the league for Real Madrid, twice. And both times, it wasn't enough to keep his job. This wasn't really about results. It never was. Some clubs don't just want to win. They want to win a certain way. And if you don't, the trophy in your hands won't save you. 11 days. That's how long winning actually protected him.